Hi, my name is Steve Gleason and I am gay. I grew up in Oneida, New York. I'm currently working in sales, but I'm going to be going to school hopefully next year, and this is my story. I guess I first knew I was gay or had an idea when I was 16, 15 or so. I'd thought about it, but I grew up in kind of a religious household. Not that that was really pertinent to me. I didn't really think it was anybody else's business but my own, my sexuality. But I was just like, no, that's not me. That's not gonna be for me. So I sort of like shunned it out. I had a girlfriend for 2 years when I was 15 and 16, and then after she and I broke up when I was almost a junior, I thought about it some more, and then I dated a guy in like March of my junior year of high school, and then by that summer I was like, okay, yeah, you're gay. um, I in high school wasn't really particularly open about my sexuality. I was at least with a small group of people at first, and some people were like, "Oh, you're gay, right?" And I was like, "No," and then I was like, "Yeah, okay, that's fine." But it was never really majorly a problem. With my family, I didn't really feel like it was any of their business. Not that they were. I mean, I expected some animosity, but um, I'm one of three boys. My family's again religious with quotes. Um, but I wouldn't really call that like I never thought it was something I needed to share with them. It's sort of something that ended up kind of rearing its head when I was a senior in high school. It perked up in like kind of unnecessary ways. My dad found out in kind of shady situation. He sort of like went through my stuff and was like he confronted me about it. Which he at the time was like, oh no, it's not really a big deal. You know, I support you, blah blah blah. But I knew, that he was never really okay with it, which is fine. I don't. I mean, a lot of people are like, oh, I think you have problems, but honestly, it's not his life to lead. It's my life to lead, so it doesn't really bother me what anybody really particularly thinks. I was only one of a few openly gay people in my high school, but I never really defined myself as being gay. I mean, it was something that made me who I was, but it wasn't who I was to be a gay person. It was just a character trait. A lot of people, well, not a lot of people, but some people put a lot of pressure on it, and it's like, oh, that's the gay guy, or oh, he's gay, or oh, we have to watch what you say around him or her because he or she's gay, blah blah blah. It's never. I mean, that stuff sort of rolls off my back. I'm not gonna lose sleep over it. I mean, I don't want to be called a fag.
Message received.
Excuse me. I don't really want to be called a fag or anything like that, But like, if somebody says, "Oh, well, that's gay," I'm not gonna. It doesn't bug me that much. But I don't know. It's part of the I think the environment that I'm from because I have two brothers, both are which are kind of bros. My dad's a bro in his own accord. They're all into sports and whatnot. I was talking to my mom earlier because she's out of state now, and she said, "Oh, by the way, do you know who won the Syracuse game last night?" I'm like, "You're asking the wrong kid, mom. Sorry." But I mean, if that in that sense, it makes me sort of it's kind of rough to be part of the LGBT community. I'm like familiar with what's going on, but I mean, it doesn't. I don't lose sleep over it like some people do. Everybody's like, "Oh, did you hear what happened?" I'm like, "No, I can't say that I did." I mean, I sort of keep up on it when I hear it. I'm interested, but it's not again something that I. It's, some people make gay culture all about what they do and what they know and what it consumes their life and it doesn't consume mine. I don't want it to. Think of other things. Okay. Well, another thing where I live now is a relatively open community, and that's one thing that has been kind of frustrating. Um, I haven't been really concerned about necessarily getting a job, but when I did, again, I'm working in sales now at a company, and when I first did get the job, I was apprehensive to act this way or another about anything because of my sexuality. I mean, I wasn't like completely conservative. I mean, I wasn't flamboyant. Not that I've ever considered myself particularly flamboyant, but it can perk up every once in a while. But I was very cautious of myself at first. Now it's sort of something that's become casual. It's not like a secret by any means, which is nice. Not that again that it defines who you are by any means, you being me in this particular instance, but to have to trying to think of the way to put it, to have to deny a part of who you are, even no matter how great or small it is, and keep that under wraps because you're worried how other people are going to look at you or treat you or act around you or what they're going to say to you, has always been kind of difficult for me to handle. Like I said, it's not the kind of thing that rolls off my back, and I think I mean, I'm tough skinned to an extent, but I think the reason I have such a hard time wrapping my head around that sort of thing is because I don't think it should even be an issue because it's my business and nobody else's business. I'm not gonna, if there's an attractive coworker at work, I'm not gonna like slap his ass or something like that. I have self control, and I think that's something a lot of the straight community, not a lot, but some of the straight community, particularly where I live now, at least in the rural areas, seem to think is that just because you're gay, you're gonna fit some conformist stereotype. When clearly that's not the case. I you know I sure there are guys that'll work that's attractive, but I mean I'm not gonna pursue it by any means. It's nothing. That's not the case at all, and I don't think people. I think people don't realize that or understand that to an extent. But like I was saying, when I first got my job, it was kind of awkward. But one of the big factors when I graduated this past May was, okay, well, do you want to go home or do you want to stay where I'm from, or rather where I'm going to school, excuse me. I'm from about 2 hours from here, and where I live now, Ithaca, New York, is considered sort of a liberal mecca for upstate New York. They have this motto that 10 square miles surrounded by reality, which is relatively true. When you get out into the rural areas, it gets a lot more red, for lack of a better way of putting it. But where I'm from is not like that at all. I've been heckled there before, just by complete strangers in parking lots at the mall. It's just like, what's your problem? I don't, I mean, just because of the way maybe I walk too gay or something, I don't know, that causes a problem for some people, which is fine. Again, I'm not going to lose sleep over it, but that kind of thing doesn't really happen here, and if it does, it's in remarkably small amounts. Granted, I again don't think it should be happening anywhere, but I couldn't justify moving either back to a place where that happens or to somewhere new where I knew that was going to happen. And that is one of my concerns now in the place that I'm at because, again, I want to go back to school in the next year. My job is okay, but it's not what I want to be doing forever. Um, and because of that, I'm trying to weigh my options and figure out where I want to be, but unfortunately, I